welcome to the Obviously Rare podcast. I know I am your host, Michael T. Porter, and I'm bringing the news to your ass like no other. This is a channel that represents a nation of people that strive for excellence and greatness every single day. I have another bomb episode for y'all, but before I begin, y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button, that share button, hit that notification bell so you know when I am dropping. And if you like to support the mission, support the culture, support everything that we are doing over here, Cash App $ Michael US. Once again, Cash App $ Michael US. I appreciate y'all. Got a story today. Came across this story, man. I love history. I love stories, and it's one of those stories. It's just like it hits a nerve. It makes you realize how much work we have to do as a society, as a people. It makes you realize how much hate is in this world. This is a story about Booker T. Spicely. He was a black man out there that served in the military, and he was on a bus, and he went to the back. This is during Jim Crow era, so blacks had to go to the back of the bus. So he was going to the back of the bus doing what he was supposed to do, but more white people came on the bus, more white officers came on the bus that also served in the military, and they wanted him to move further to the back. So pretty much he got into an altercation with the white bus driver. And remind you, the white man that's on the bus, they're serving in the military. The black man, Booker T. Spicely, they're all serving in the military. And the whole argument broke out between Booker T. Spicely and the bus driver, because Booker T was like, hey man, we're fighting the same fight. We just came back from the war, and we are fighting the same fight. This is in 1944 during World War II. So there's a lot of confusion going on. There's a lot going on, but he ultimately was killed after he unboarded the bus. The bus driver got out, shot him, and the bus driver did not do any time. He was acquitted within 28 minutes of deliberation. But we're going to jump more into the details. But I got a video I want to play for y'all. Just going to break it all down. Y'all kick back, relax, and I'm going to be right back with you.
1944. What happened at this intersection? Wow. It happened here, West Club Boulevard and Berkeley Street in Durham 79 years ago.
Really strikes me in a certain sort of way that an American soldier would die that way here on American soil.
The soldier was U.S. Army Private Booker T. Spicely. He was based at Camp Butner during World War II and visiting friends in Durham's Haytime neighborhood that Saturday. Jim Crow was the racist law of the South at the time, and on the Duke transport bus ride back to Camp Butner, Private Spicely took a seat near the back of the bus. But when a group of white soldiers boarded, the bus driver, Herman Council, ordered Spicely to the very back. I thought I was fighting this war for democracy, Spicely argued. We are both wearing the same uniform. At NC Central's recent Booker T. Spicely symposium, attorney James Williams revealed what happened when Private Spicely exited the bus.
He got out from the rear. Herman Council got out from the front, confronted him, and shot him twice in the chest. And then boarded that bus and drove off as if he had done nothing wrong, indeed as if his dastardly deed was an honorable thing to do. But that's Jim Crow. That's white supremacy.
The Black Army private bleeding and dying seconds away from Watts Hospital, now known in Durham as the School of Science and Math. But back then, the hospital was whites only.
What happened? He was denied medical care.
They told him no.
They told him no. He was given a blood test because the law enforcement wanted to be assured that he hadn't been intoxicated during the exchange with Herman Council.
He later arrived dead at Duke Hospital. Council was later arrested and charged with murder.
I didn't find out about Booker, the story, until my mom mentioned it to me.
We talked to Spicely's second cousin over Zoom from Virginia. The deadly racial violence her cousin endured in Durham was not often talked about in her family, but she knows how it ends. Herman Council was tried for second-degree murder. He claimed he shot Spicely in self-defense. An all-white Durham jury sided with the driver.
Once it went to the jury, It only took the jury 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Came back not guilty.
To acquit. That's correct. To acquit Herman Council.
Herman Council walked away.
He walked away.
He had murdered my cousin, and he was just living a good old life, like nothing. And that's the thing that bothers me now.
Herman Council went back to his bus driving job at Duke Power. He died in 1983. But last year, a newly formed Booker T. Spicely committee convinced Duke Energy, the successor to Duke Power, to endow a $100,000 scholarship named for Spicely to be awarded to NC Central law students. The committee also led efforts to have a state historical marker telling Spicely's story placed near Broad and West Club Boulevard. That marker is set to be unveiled December 1st.
Would y'all like my opinion? Would y'all like some of this 250 Gemstones news TV commentary? Well, of course you do. That's why your ass is here. Got a little bit more info for y'all than let me see. This is according to Northeastern University School of Law. Booker T. Spicely was 34, died in 1944. Booker T. Spicely, 34, was a U.S. Army private on active duty who was killed in Durham County, North Carolina in 1944 on July 8, 1944. Spicely, originally from Philadelphia and serving at Camp Butner, boarded a bus and sat in the second to last row when more white passengers boarded the bus driver. Herman Lee Council, remember that name, y'all, Herman Lee Council, ordered Spicely to sit further back. Jim Crow seating segregation was still in force in North Carolina at the time. The private initially protested, but eventually moved to the rear of the vehicle. So he moved to the back after, getting his stuff off with the bus driver. Herman Lee Council was employed by the Duke Power Company, who owned and operated the local buses. When Spicely got off the bus, Council shot him twice, alleging that Spicely had started an argument and advanced on him. Military police brought Spicely to Watts Hospital, where on account of his race, because he was black, he was refused care. They let him die. He later died at Duke Hospital. So they brought him to one hospital, which was Watts Hospital. And then they said, we're not going to take care of his black ass. Send him over to Duke Hospital. And they sent him over to Duke. And Herman Lee Council was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. The Duke Power Company, which owns the bus system, paid his $2,500 bail. Council was permitted to drive his bus until trial. And at trial, an all-white jury acquitted him after only 28 minutes of deliberation. The power company continued to employ Council, but switched his route. So he was able to evade prison. He didn't do any jail time, and he was able to keep his job even after killing a black man in cold blood. And this is the country. The reason I do these stories is because I want people to realize there's a lot of people out there that believe this country is so great. Nothing's great in this world, nothing is great. My personal opinion, nothing's great in this world, but we got to do our best to make it beautiful. Now, this shows you how heartless, how far black people have gone, and how far black people have to go. For them to allow him to bleed out, this black man to bleed out, just the sheer hatred that they have for black people. I'm speaking as a black man. The sheer hatred that they have for black people is absolutely mind-boggling. Even when you have facts, data, statistics, and all of these things, you try to tell people this is an evil country at times. There's people that believe this country can do no wrong. You have to be an idiot, right? An absolute idiot. We have stories after stories of how many innocent blood has been shed over here. And this racism thing, it has put so much confusion and hatred on both sides, of black and white. You got white people who force other white people to be hateful, and if they're not hateful towards blacks, they are N-word lover. Think about that. Because you're a decent human being, we're all innocent as we're born. You're holding on to your innocent, and you're not, and you don't want to be allowed. You don't want to allow Satan to infiltrate your mindset, to infiltrate your thought process, to infiltrate your spirit, to infiltrate how you feel about humans and other people, and kindness and compassion. They don't want you to be compassionate. They don't want you to be dignified. They don't want you to show any amount of humanitarian efforts towards somebody who don't look like you. So racism probably is one of the most satanic ways to divide a nation. But when you try to tell people this is a racist country, it's not as racist as it was back then. But right now, the new color is money. But I do these stories because without history, what do we really have? And I just wish that one day that history is just taught right. See, I just brought y'all the information. Now, if this information is wrong, shame on me, but we got the video. I got the articles. And this is a black man who served in the military. Our own, even black men, upstanding black men who served in the military. Who served in that military. Come home and get treated like trash. Come home and get treated like trash. So it's just absolutely mind-boggling how you got people that try to sweep this under the rug. Sweep this under the rug. In this country, black people are taught, even to today, by other blacks, not to complain, not to bring out the obvious, not to bring up issues. And my message to black folk, I love black folk, I love all people. Put yourself first. Strive for the best. This was the game that was given to me ever since I was little. Strive for the best individually and as a culture. Put God first. Strive for the best, because there's a lot of people that don't want to hear your problems. Think about that. God loves to hear our problems. These people don't. And this is why I always say go with God. Love God. Get yourself together, because this is a hateful world. They hate everything. Not just, but they hate all people. But especially in America, anytime black folks trying to get it right, anytime black folks bring up any concerns, there's even black people, some of them Republicans and conservatives, that immediately tune out the concerns and needs of black folks. I want y'all to, but at the same time, they try to shame you for not voting for the very people who drown out your concern and cries. Think about that. These are the very people that drown out. Stop being the victim. Stop complaining. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Everybody needs some goddamn help. Everybody got problems. Everybody concerns. Why is it when black people bring it up, we are hit with this smoke screen to be silenced? There's a lot of blacks in this Republican conservative space that their job is to silence us, right? The Democratic job, the people who are the blacks that support Democrats, their job is to silence black folks, to bring up real concerns, because neither sides are going to bring real solutions to the problems we had back then and the problems we have now, right? The problems we have now. So get right with God. And it's unfortunate that this, and I understand why some blacks feel no matter what you do, these people will always hate you. And look at this man. He ain't out there gang banging. He ain't out there acting a damn fool. Young man, 34. 34 slaughtered in the middle of the street in a country that he risked his life for. There's another story. This is a recent story out there in Florida. The airman, the man that's flying jet planes for the Army, out there in the Army. Out there in the Air Force. A black man in the Air Force ain't there out there gang banging, ain't slapping on black women. Somebody called the police, got the wrong apartment, and the police blew him away. Shot him down, gunned him down. And this is a black man that served this country, put his life on the line for our freedoms, and look what they did to them. Booker T. Spicely and the airman out there in Florida, I forgot his name, the airman out there in Florida, young man, got spit all over their face for believing in something. Now, no wrong with believing. We all got to believe in something. This is how you keep the darkness off your ass. You got to believe in something. You got to keep your body moving. You got to keep your mind moving. You got to keep your spirit moving. And hopefully we're keeping it moving to something more beautiful, more precious, right? But these black men served this nation, the very nation that they served, slaughtered them like a hog. The officer that slaughtered that airman in Florida got off, and this piece of trash, Henry Lee Council, the bus company paid for his bail. They made sure that he doesn't do any jail time, and they were sending a message, to the world that we are superior, and this is how superior people act. That's why I said they did it. What's wrong when black people do it, right? We're only gonna take care of black folks. When black folks get in the jam, we're gonna bail each other out, and y'all need to beat it, right? Absolutely gross. Paid his bail. He didn't do any jail time, and he was acquitted within 28 minutes. But y'all flood my comments. What do y'all think about this story? 250 capital G News. I'm gone.